Madam Deputy Speaker, President Trump is acting like an international gangster, threatening to trample over the sovereignty of an ally, threatening the end of NATO altogether. The President of the United States is attacking our economy, our livelihoods, and our national security. He is a bully. He thinks he can grab whatever he wants using force if necessary. And he is corrupt. The most corrupt president the United States has ever seen. Madam Deputy Speaker, President Trump is acting like an international gangster, threatening to trample over the sovereignty of an ally, threatening the end of NATO altogether, and now threatening to hit our country and 7 European allies with outrageous, damaging tariffs unless he gets his hands on Greenland. This is an incredibly grave moment for the United Kingdom, Europe, and our world. Without provocation or justification, the President of the United States is attacking our economy, our livelihoods, and our national security. Trump has put British businesses and jobs on the front line in his unprovoked aggression. The only people cheering him on are Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping. Only a few months ago, Trump hailed the special relationship at Windsor Castle. Now, thanks to his actions, it is nearly in tatters. So how do we stop Trump's damaging trade war? For a year now, Madam Deputy Speaker, the Prime Minister has tried a policy of appeasing Trump, flattering him, fawning over him, refusing to stand up to him, because, he argued, otherwise Trump would hit us with damaging tariffs. Well, the Prime Minister has tested his approach to destruction. It has failed. It is time for the government to change course. We have to finally be clear-eyed about the sort of man Trump is and treat him accordingly. He is a bully. He thinks he can grab whatever he wants using force if necessary. And he is corrupt. The most corrupt president the United States has ever seen. So there are only two ways of getting him to back down: bribing him with a new jet perhaps, or a few billion in his crypto account, or standing up to him like we would with any other bully, standing together with our European allies to make him back down. That's the choice. Which one, Foreign Secretary?
Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect. All right, so you have the UK Member of Parliament calling out Nero for his aggressive nature among the nations. All right, calling him a bully, saying that he thinks he can do whatever he wants, which he does. All right, and this is just prophecy passing. All right, the beast, beginning to hate the whore, and eventually these nations are going to attack this place, man. All right, it's being made more and more plain that the scriptures is talking about this man, the Edomites as a whole nation. But, you got Nero being, of course, the leader of this place right now. And, every attribute that the scriptures speak on the wicked having, he's displaying it amongst the nations, man. All right. Once again, being very aggressive, being imperialistic. All right. Attacking the Israelites, it's being made more and more plain who the scriptures is talking about, man. All right, but I'm going to start in Revelation 17:16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. All right, NATO and the EU. All right, and you see Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is putting a spirit on this man to isolate Babylon. All right, this place that you know as America. All right, to isolate it among the nations. All right, this man got everybody in the uproar. with his dealings amongst the nations, and everybody is getting more angry. Everybody is getting more courage to call the man out, or to call his place out in his wickedness. And as the scriptures say, they shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. All right, meaning this place is going to be consumed. All right, destroyed. All right, by the nations, by thermonuclear fire. That's why you see all these nations, presenting their weapons in this nuclear arms race that's going on the planet right now. Everybody's flexing weapons, and everybody is, walking with the attitude as if they are ready to use them, and they are ready to use them. All right, it's just Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai has to put the spirit on them to do so, and he will. All right. Obadiah 1:7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. All right, all the men of thy confederacy, meaning NATO, all right, EU, everybody that whether they're enemy of America or a comrade or ally, or someone that they're confederate with or in league with, all right, they're eventually going to shoot missiles at this place, man. This man Nero has turned everybody against this place. Cause he a big gangster, man. As dude said, he's an international gangster. They move like the mob, man. They want a piece. If you know anything about those old mobsters, you know uh, they wanted a piece of everything that was moving. You couldn't make no money without giving them a piece. Whether you had a sandwich shop on whatever neighborhood, whatever you had going, they muscled you and got a piece of it. And that's how Trump does amongst the nations. Whatever you have, all right, they muscle you into giving them a piece of it. All right. So when he said international gangster, that was very fitting. All right, because they move like the mob, man. But I'm gonna get that in the NLT. Obadiah 1:7. All your allies will turn against you. They will help to chase you from the land. They will promise you peace while plotting to deceive and destroy you. Your trusted friends will set traps for you, and you won't even know about it. Because I'm pretty sure, as we've seen in the media, all this peace talk, peace, we want peace. But, don't think that these leaders of these other nations are in, behind closed doors, thinking of a way to get an advantage and thinking of a way to destroy this place and get up under the thumb of this place, man. All right, because, America has all the nations in a chokehold. Really, that petrodollar is really, one of the strongest strongholds that they have on the nations. And, you got the BRICS nations. You have, people attacking the dollar in international trade, which is a big thing. People are speaking out more and more against this place. And as I said before, they flexing nuclear weapons. So they're getting ready to come at this place, man. And this is a UK prime minister or pardon me, a member of parliament. And, Great Britain being, the mother of this place. That's prophecy as well that they will come at this place, man. Jeremiah 50:12, your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. All right, your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. All right, the mother of this place is what? Great Britain. All right, and now they even speaking out against this place, man. Talking about how he bullying the nations, man. So now they're becoming to be, or pardon me, they are starting to become ashamed of this place, man. All right. Because, the dealings that they have amongst the nations. America is just a big bully, which I believe, that's a term Ed Davey used as well. They just bully shit, man. Just international gangster, just like the mob used to bully all the businesses back in the day. They do the same thing, man. That was a very fitting term that he used. But continuing on, I'm gonna have to Jeremiah 50:23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation amongst the nations? Because that's the future of this place, to become desolate, man. That's why it gets compared to Sodom and Gomorrah. If you know anything about that land currently, nothing comes forth of it. It's a, what they say, a barren wasteland, man. Barren wasteland. All right. And that's the future of this place. In Revelation 11 and 8, America, Babylon is described as spiritual Sodom and spiritual Egypt. All right. All the Israelites are here in captivity. All the nations. Israel is spread amongst the whole world, but the majority, of us, is here in this prison, man. All right. And spiritual Sodom, because you know why. Sin of Sodom, man. All right. And it's going to receive the same punishment as, ancient Sodom and Gomorrah. All right. But America is also described as the hammer of the whole earth in this verse. All right. And that's what they do. Just beat the nations into place. Like if you look at a hammer and a nail, the hammer is used to beat the nail into place. All right. So that's what America does to the nations. It beat it in place. Beat on you and take all your shit. And these nations, Trump just being, or Nero, pardon me, just being, he's got that imperialistic Edomite spirit, man. That spirit of colonialism, man. He has no shame. We about to go over here and take that, type spirit, man. All right. I'm gonna get it in the NLT too. It says, "Behold, pardon me, Babylon, the mightiest hammer in all the earth, lies broken and shattered. Babylon is desolate among the nations." All right, because that's the future of this place, is to be made a barren wasteland. All right. Habakkuk 2:7. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be booties unto them, because thou hast spoiled many nations. All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. All right, you have spoiled many nations. All right, and once again, man, it's just clear, man. The prophecy is speaking louder and louder. It's clear who this is talking about. You got these people that try to say Esau is done away with, or the Edomites are done away with, or the Edomites are not the so-called, what is white people. All right, but who else could this be talking about? Once you do a process of elimination amongst all the people, all the nations on the planet, it's very clear that this is talking about the Edomites, man, or the Edomites, or these so-called white people, barring them being Israelite foreigners, because every as a white person, every white person you see isn't an Edomite. They could be Jakes, man. But for those who go back to the the lineage of Esau, or of the lineage of Esau, that wicked spirit, it's being made very clear who it is, man. And get that in the NLT as well. Suddenly, Habakkuk 2:7, suddenly your debtors will take action. They will turn on you and take all you have, while you stand trembling and helpless, because you have plundered many nations. Now all the survivors will plunder you. You committed murder throughout the countryside and filled the towns with violence. All right, who's going around being violent amongst the nations? You know, they can talk that, oh, black people kill each other shit. Yeah, but fuck them too though, because they just 2/3 of the nation of Israel. They gonna die too because they've taken on your ways. You know, don't get it mistaken as if this is some black movement. And 2/3 of the nation of Israel is the enemies of the hopeful elect as well. Enemies of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai first and foremost, but the enemies of the hopeful elect as well. Them niggas don't get no pass. So when you talk about well, black people do it too, yeah, but fuck them. Most High ain't dealing with black people or Puerto Ricans, you know, dealing with the tribes, those who have come back and repented to the best of their ability and carried themselves with the responsibility of being an Israelite, trying to be a representation of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai on the world, you know. I'm veering off Habakkuk 2:8. It's in the NLT. Because you have plundered many nations, and now all the survivors will plunder you. You committed murder throughout the countryside and filled the towns with violence. All right, and that's Esau, supporting him being a hammer of the earth, beating on the nations with violence, man. Seeing what he done over there to Maduro, roped him up, took his shit, and now they trying to, his oil, all right. And now they're trying to, march over there to Greenland and do the same thing, man. But NATO is, has a problem with that, man. The beast is starting to hate the whore. All right. Even the mother of this place, which is Great Britain, is ashamed of it, man. And now they are speaking up. Isaiah 14:10, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become as weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? All right, because when this man is taken out of power, which he will be, he's going to go back to being the lowest among the heathen. All right, and this is a future prophecy, of course. It says, thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. All right, thy pomp is brought to the down to the grave. All right, that pride and that arrogancy. All right, as the scriptures describes Esau, his kingdom having a look more stout than his fellows. All right, being more proud than the nations, and you can see how he talked to the nations, man. That pride seeping through him. Verse 12, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? And how does he weaken the nations? He siphons all this shit out of them, man. Natural resources. He kills them with debt. One thing they do is they will give a nation a loan that they know that the nation can't pay back. And, once a nation defaults on a loan, well, now they own the nation. That's how, just for an example, that's how they weaken the nations, man. They weaken the nations culturally. All right. They present an alternative lifestyle, which weakens the nation. They let the women run rampant and be promiscuous. That weakens the nation. They let children be unruly. That weakens the nation. They do all this type of shit, man. And who else could this be talking about other than Esau? Trump just being or Nero, pardon me, just being the topic of conversation and being the leader, the Caesar of this place, man. All right. And he's exhibiting all these characteristics. Isaiah 14:13, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. There you go, because that's the future of this place, man. All right, to be destroyed. Isaiah 14:16. They that see thee shall look. No. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did it shake kingdoms? All right, and this is how you know who this is talking about. The prophecy is talking about the fall of the Edomites, because they're the only ones on the planet who have the power, or was given the power to do so. Is this the man that made the earth to tremble? Is this the man that shake kingdoms? All right, because they've been scared of America for a long time. But Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, is putting his spirit on these nations to be more combative. Combative verbally. All right, combative financially, as I bring up the BRICS nations again. All right, and ultimately, it's gonna be real combat. They don't shoot fire on this place, man. And we're getting closer and closer. We know the MOTB, which is the implantable device, and nothing else, has to be made mandatory. All right, but we close, man. It's saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened out the house of the prisoners, that made the world as a wilderness? He's destroying everything. The air, the food. All right, there's no morality on the planet. Not that you would expect that from the heathen nations, but just to make the point, there's no morality on the planet. Everything is just a damn it's just a spiritual anarchy, man. Everything is out of place. He's turned everything upside down. All right. And destroy the cities thereof. Esau destroys everything he touches. So this is how who this is talking about, man. And once again, eventually, you're gonna see more and more tension amongst the nations, and it's gonna turn into war. All right. So going back to Revelation 17:16, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. All right, that's the fate of this place. All right, the Most High is going to keep rousing the nations up, and eventually it's going to turn into war, man. Because this man, he's not going to stop. This nigga, Nero is a bully, man. He's a buddy of the mob, man. They move like the mob. This dude is a big gangster, international gangster, man. Has the damn, what's his name again? I forgot his name that damn quick. But Davey, as he said about Donald Trump, man. All right. But I ain't gonna hold you. I hope that video was edifying. Shalom.